How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I'm your host, Rising Oblivion. Today, guys, we're going to be talking about the Persona sales, what games have been doing well, and what this might actually mean for Sega and for also Atlus as a company towards what games they have coming out and why these certain games have been doing so well. So the Persona series had sold 400,000 copies worldwide from April to June 2021, but let's take a deeper dive into explaining why these certain games did so well and which ones are actually the ones that are doing super well. Recently, the PC version of Persona 4 Golden on Steam had just reached 1 million copies sold, which explains a lot for why I have the title of this saying 15 million copies of Persona have been sold worldwide since June 30th of this year. Alongside that, we also have the Persona 5 Royal reaching 1.8 million copies sold, Strikers also reaching 1.3 million copies sold as of April, and not to mention, also regular P5 has sold well as well. So the biggest games so far in terms of sales has been Persona 4 Golden, which obviously it's been released on the Vita, you know, it had its original release. It also has had a release on Steam with the Golden version, and who knows, potentially next month we might also see something else regarding Persona 4, whether it's the Fighting Arena game or if it's actually Persona 4 Golden jumping to console. It's also going to have more sales. Then we have regular Persona 5 Royal as well, giving a lot of sales, P5 giving a lot of sales as well, and Persona 5 Scramble, Strikers, however you want to say it. It's different in Japan compared to everywhere else in the world, but those are our top contenders. P4 Golden, P5R, P5, and then P5S, of course. Those are the top ones, but we have more to talk about here. With the 15 million copies sold, that also means a lot for Sega as well. This means that Sega had the, you know, pretty big boost when it came to the Yakuza series, Persona series, Total War, and the Sonic series. Those are their biggest series in terms of numbers. Well, if we look at the actual numbers, the Persona series ranked in at number 2, being the most games sold, which is super cool. For some reason within the analytics here, the Yakuza series was not included, the Judgment series was not included for that, but I find it kind of funny how Sonic was actually one of their lowest in terms of last year in the first quarter and second quarter, but somehow, like, you'd think the biggest thing that they would have in their brand would be Sonic, but in actuality, it's kind of not. It's a good thing that the Persona series was picked up by Sega. Well, Atlus picked up, you know, got picked up by Sega, I mean, but, you know, verbatim, it still means that they ended up acquiring the Persona series through that, and they have the Yakuza series as well. So Yakuza and Persona really are pulling in super strong for Sega, which is super cool, and I'm glad they did that. Reasons why they did a lot of that stuff and branched out and got new IPs so they could branch out and Sega could actually push certain things like the Yakuza series over to Game Pass. Yakuza got brought over there. Who knows, we might see more stuff with Persona doing that. The fact that Sega can see how well the Persona series can do, and 15 million sales within the Persona series, and then we're going to be having, you know, SMT5 coming out here soon as well, and the 20th anniversary is going to have more stuff. That just means more good things for us, guys. We're literally speaking with our wallets what we want. Hopefully they just make the right decisions in doing that. And another thing I wanted to add before we sort of wrap this up here is how strange it is that Vanilla P5, for some reason, is still doing pretty good. I thought this was strange. So the vanilla version of Persona 5 is actually doing okay, which is interesting. I'm not sure if the, you know, fact that it is sort of on the PS5's version of PlayStation Plus, you could get the free download for regular P5. It's not P5R, so you don't get Royal for free on the PS5, but you do get the regular version of Persona, which is sort of interesting to see that we have that on there, even though you don't get the Royal version, so you get the regular P5 version. And I'm not sure if that's actually counting as sales technically, because even when you do download something off the PlayStation Store, it says that you purchased it. You just purchased it for $0. And I'm also not sure if through a PlayStation Plus subscription membership, somehow some money is given to the certain game creators that you have, or whatever. Maybe Atlus and Sega still count certain sales through the PlayStation Plus system for regular P5. So that can kind of explain maybe why P5 is still, you know, being considered for getting sales. If a person was going to go out and buy Persona 5, I would say, hey, just buy Persona 5 Royal. You're getting so much extra content. All of the DLC for P5 is included in Persona 5 Royal. So if you ever to buy P5 and buy DLC, you're kind of wasting your money. Just go buy P5R and you're completely set. You get all the stuff there, and you get the alternate endings and blah blah blah. You guys know all that stuff. But for some reason, P5 is actually doing a lot of good sales. P5R, obviously, just from how good it's been doing, a lot of sales as well. Persona 4 Golden is just such a beloved game. It makes sense why it hit 1 million. It's surpassing its Vita sales here pretty soon, which is kind of crazy. It's becoming a bigger audience for Persona 4 Golden now than it ever had been before, which is insane considering the game released on PS2. The game did the worst it ever could have on its initial release, but on its 2 releases later on the Vita and then on Steam, it had done better. And the funny thing is, that's not even it jumping to modern consoles. The thing could also jump to modern consoles here soon, potentially September. If you watch my other video, I'll have that linked here at the end. You can click on it, talking about why I think Persona 4 Golden might be the next thing to come over to console, the next port or whatever, for the 25th anniversary of Persona. Persona 4 might even have more people getting it. It might even have a bigger fan base than what the Steam version had if it jumps over to console, especially if it jumps over to console. And that means it also comes to things like Xbox and Switch. We think maybe PlayStation, obviously that's kind of a no-brainer. It'll jump to there, probably digitally. I'm not sure if there'll be physical copies of this, but if it also does what Yakuza did and also jumps to being on the Switch, is what everybody wants, Persona on Switch, and then also jumps over to Xbox. We see that Sega had did that with the Yakuza series, putting on the Game Pass and stuff like that. P5 is on the PlayStation Plus stuff, so why not also bring stuff over to the Game Pass? It seems like somehow it is lucrative for Atlus and Sega to do so, because they're still getting sales on P5 even though the game is free over there. So somehow I still think they make some money through the PlayStation Plus system. Somehow they still earn some revenue that way and still obtain some sales that way. So it makes sense for them to also want to try and bring some stuff over to potentially like Game Pass and stuff like that, which Game Pass also is something you can also have on the computer as well. It's not just a Xbox console type of thing. It's also able to be something that you can get on your PC. So any of the games that jump to there could also jump to PC, which is pretty nice. We already have Persona 4 Golden on PC, so obviously that's not what I mean for that. But other things like maybe potentially P3 or some of the old Persona games, maybe they'll port those over at some point. Who really knows? Anything that we get with remakes or ports or whatever, we could potentially see on Game Pass or something like that. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer. I know a couple months ago people were thinking that that got leaked or there were rumors about it. I don't think those are real. I think those were proven false, but it still seems like a good idea for Atlus to do that. But once again, it's Atlus. Like we've all known before, just because something seems like a no-brainer and seems like that would make them a ton of money, even through Sega's perspective, even they should see this being a thing. Who really knows? At the end of the day, we just have to kind of wait and see. But 15 million copies, guys, we're hitting big numbers for them. Like I said, it's speaking with our wallets. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. With the prices of certain things like, you know, Persona Q and stuff like that, with how ridiculous they are, it at least seems like with some of these newer games like Persona 5 Royal and Persona 4 Golden, it seems like they're trying to make the right steps in the right directions. And we could see that with 15 million copies sold with a game that came out as a PS2 game all those years ago. It really just goes to show how much we want these Persona games, and hopefully they'll listen to us. Hopefully Atlus will be nice people and try and give us the stuff we want, man. We still have the 25th anniversary stuff coming up soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Subscribe to the channel so you'll be up to date on that stuff, so you'll know when new stuff like that comes out. Click the bell to be notified when I have a new video, and for whenever I also go live. I've been streaming a lot of Persona 5 Royal Merciless Run. I've also been doing Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD Remastered, been doing a run of that, and I'll be eventually jumping back to my older series like Kingdom Hearts. I do a little bit of that every once in a while, and also the Persona 4 Golden run that I have going on. But without further ado, guys, I won't keep you anymore. But thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.